I am Jenny Turley, your go-to guide for unforgettable getaways, here to help you turn your dream trips into reality.
I'm Carla Morrissey, your adventure enthusiast. Together, we will share expert travel tips, insider secrets, and stories that are going to inspire you to book that next adventure.
Whether you are dreaming of cruising the Caribbean, exploring Alaska, or discovering hidden gems around the world, we have got you covered.
So grab your passports, pack your bags, and let's take off for another travel adventure.
All right, Carla is back from sailing the high seas with Princess Cruise Line. And what we want to know is, did it live up to the hype? She packed her bags, carry on, mind you, boarded an international princess cruise, and now she's back. But was it everything she had hoped for? In this episode, we're getting the real deal from Carla. What wowed her, what she wishes she knew before, and whether Princess Cruise Line deserves a spot on your bucket list. You might be surprised by what she says. All right, Carla, welcome back. Before you left, what were you most excited about for this cruise?
I have to say I was most excited about Portofino.
Oh, yeah, why is
one
that?
of the stops. It was just always a bucket list for me. I like to read the history about it. You know, it's where the rich and famous still go to this day, but it is so dreamy. It really was a dream. I will say every place we stopped, it was a dream. But that was the one stop that was fantastic.
And
Yeah.
just in case we have people who didn't catch the last episode, why don't you remind everybody exactly why you took this cruise?
My sister wanted to go on her first European trip, and she started planning it, and I was planning it for her. And as all of her friends kept jumping in and joining, I sat back about 6 months after the planning and said, you know what? I think we're going to go. And then I got all my friends to go. So we had about 20 of us going, and it was fun. It was so much fun. So much fun.
It sounded like it.
Yeah.
I saw some of the pictures and some of the clips, videos, and you guys looked like you were all having a great time.
It was great. It was great. We all spread out, you know. I'm all about doing your thing. This is your vacation. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
We'll just start at the beginning. What made you pick this sailing?
We liked the stops, the timing. Loved starting in Barcelona. That was a big selling point for her. And for the rest of us. We'd never been there. So that was something. And we did a 2-night pre-stay.
Oh.
So so we went and hit the ground running as soon as we landed and didn't stop until we got home. So it was great. It was something. I didn't even know what to expect. And it really was, fantastic.
And we all know that you packed using a carry-on bag. In case anybody missed that, Carla is like obsessed and was able to pack. How many days was it total you were gone?
Total we were gone was 13 days.
Okay, so 13 days in a carry-on.
Days. Yes, in a carry-on, in a personal.
I just don't know how you do it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was fantastic. There was stuff I didn't wear. Now, I'll admit, we did in Rome, because we spent 3 days in Rome before we came home. And the night that we were packing, you know, I buy stuff. I buy a lot, and I like to bring home my stuff. And we ended up leaving behind a pair of jeans that my husband ripped the pocket of on the trip and his gym shoes. So we had some more space. So yeah, we had to throw some things out.
So were those intentional? You left them behind intentionally?
Yeah. He tore the pocket on the jeans, so I'm not going to sew them. So we're not, you know what? We need space, throw them out. And the gym shoes, he hated them. They were new. He hated them. And I said, then you know what? We need space for my stuff. So we threw them out.
So you can get to the destination with your carry-on, but to come back, you need another suitcase or carry-on.
Usually I have those blow-up carry-ons that come with me. And then we, check on something else. And, we check the dirty laundry coming home. And this time I just needed more space. I mean, we went to Italy. I had to buy things.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Right?
I would too.
Yeah. So that was good. That was good. I still stand by it. I will do only carry-on.
That's great. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's talk about the embarkation process. What was it like?
It was fast, easy. Okay. Maybe it took from curb to on board maybe 35 minutes, if that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, not even that long. And I'll tell you this, we had our transportation come and pick us up. Um, the transportation did we had split because we had such a big group.
Mhm.
Well, one of the drivers, was new and didn't know where the port was. So that was a little dicey. So my husband was in
Oh.
that van because we were all, separated, and he was texting, and they ended up getting there pretty much, maybe about 10 minutes after we got there, so which was fine, but it was funny. It was, you know what? You're on vacation. I don't really find too much
Yeah.
that will push my buttons. There was one couple out of all 20 that didn't listen to her travel agent and didn't get her medallions. So, and she knew because I was texting and making sure, and she was radio silent, so she wouldn't
Mhm.
answer me. So I knew, Missy, when you're listening to this, she's laughing. Uh-huh. Because I said the night before we all went out to dinner together and we're all sitting around, and I said, okay, everyone, be down in the lobby at 10 o'clock. Maybe we'll see each other at breakfast. I said, but make sure everyone has your medallions. And she pretty much cowered like this and wouldn't look
Oh,
at me. And I said, no, really? And she says, yeah, we're fine. We're fine. I will tell you this, they were on the boat before us.
wow.
That's how easy that was. But yeah, she like buzzed past us. We were in line, doing this. And she's like, I'll be right back. I have to go to the other line. Literally, they gave them their medallions and they were on board with a cocktail. Hey, what's up? Yeah, yeah. So,
So the
yeah.
takeaway from that is get it if you can, and if you can't,
Don't
it's
sweat it.
okay.
Do not sweat it. I tell
No.
all of my clients that. Don't sweat it. I had some clients, and it was my brother leaving a month after us on another Princess cruise on the same ship,
Oh, wow.
flying out to Barcelona, and I get a text message from him. He's very nervous, and beforehand, I said, Tony, you don't worry. You can't miss anything. Make sure you have your medallion and your passport. And you could forget everything else if you do. You're fine. No, I get a text message from him right before he's boarding. I drop the ball. I don't have our luggage tags for the room.
Oh.
I said, Tony, no issue. There's
Mhm.
nothing that you could drop the ball for. Nothing. That's how easy it is to get on board, honestly. They
Really,
have
it's just
all
the
of your
passport.
it's just your passport. You have to have that, and that is it. You can buy everything else you need. It's perfect. So it
Yep.
was very quick, very easy. It was great. It was great. Our rooms were ready quick. It was fantastic. Yeah.
What
It's like a
was your
party
first
when you get
impression?
in.
No, we didn't say this yet. So what ship were you on?
We were on the Sun Princess, new ship.
The
It's
brand
been
new, beautiful Sun
brand new.
Princess?
Yep, it's been, on the waters for a year. She was out there, that's where she started, came out to the Caribbean, and then she came back. So
Mm.
this was maybe her second sailing after she came back. She came across in March. We left on April 2nd.
And I
So,
tell you, I do love newer ships.
it was so beautiful.
So
So
what were
beautiful.
your first impressions?
It's very different than any other princess ship. It's
Oh, yeah?
very different. Yeah, it's a little bit more modern, a little bit more sleek. You don't have the traditional what you usually see on the princess ships, the brass and the lots of opulence like that. It's beautiful,
Mhm.
not overdone like a traditional cruise ship. So it was really nice. I liked it. Loved the room. I can't complain. The shower was great. I thought it was bigger than any other cruise ship shower I've ever been in.
Oh, that's important.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And no shower curtain, no shower curtains.
Was it doors?
It's a door.
Oh,
It was so nice.
you
It
were
was so nice.
fancy.
Yeah, it was so nice. And that's all the cabins. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's fantastic. It was
And
beautiful. Yeah.
and what kind of room did you get?
We had the deluxe balcony. We were on the Sphere. Our balcony was a little bigger. We actually had lounge chairs on ours. It bumped out. Those are nice. Um, I'm glad I stayed in the room I did. But here's a note taken. So for people that I book, I personally know I don't have a problem. I've gone in all areas of the ship. This is how I
Mhm.
test out the cabins for everybody. This one was 16th floor in its midship because it's on the Sphere.
Mhm.
Well, right above us was the pool in the pool area and where the movie theater, the big screens. And that was fine, except at 10 o'clock at night when they got this big explosions of movies playing. It didn't play for long. It didn't bother me. But when we were actually in the cabin at first, I'm like, oh my gosh, what is that? Everything's rumbling, stumbling, and I open the door and I'm, woo, there it is. So if you will be sensitive and you go to bed a little earlier, you might not
Yep.
like that.
So
Yeah.
those light
Other than that,
sleepers.
yes, I would
Yeah.
not say the 16th floor. I would go down another
Yeah.
floor for you. Other than that, I've been on floors where I'm right under the eateries.
Okay.
Never heard a thing. I think the worst is under the pool decking because they pull the chairs. Other than
I
that,
agree with
that
that.
was great. Everybody had great rooms. They loved them. Loved them.
All right, so we need to get to the meat of it, the thing that's really important. Talk to us about the food and drinks.
Okay. The
What did you
food.
think about the food overall?
The food. The food was phenomenal. Phenomenal. And I could tend to be a picky eater. I don't think I am, but I think I am now. And it's just, we ate main dining a lot
Yeah.
because we did do excursions. And then there were some that we didn't do excursions, and we just wandered. But we did eat in main dining. And I will say, main dining blew it out of the water every night. Every
Wow.
night. And I let our waiter choose my dinner every night.
Really?
Yes, I did. Yep. Yep. He knew right away I liked seafood. After I got home, I realized for 13 days, I had 2 bites of meat. That was it. I had a
Oh.
bite of my husband's, and he had a filet that I really had to try that.
Mhm.
So he wanted me to try it, so I did. And then I had on deck one afternoon, I had shawarma. I love shawarma.
Mhm.
In the pitas, and I did a chicken shawarma. That was maybe I had a hot dog. I had a hot dog too. Is that meat? That's not meat. That's gross. But it was so good. It was so
Cruise line hot dogs are like the best.
Yeah, it was so good. So I
Yeah.
will say that. The main dining, honestly, it was great. We did do some specialties, which were a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I don't usually do that, and we did it this time, and it was great.
All
Yeah.
right, so I wanna say, one of my favorite things about eating in main dining is the staff. I
Yeah,
can't think of a cruise that we've taken where we didn't get treated like royalty. How their memories work that well and can
right?
remember the way that they turn over week to week,
I had
different
to
people at the
make
tables.
notes just for having a conversation
Yeah,
because
it's
I can't
amazing.
remember things. Yeah, no, it's
So, yeah,
nuts.
they definitely, like they're amazing. Our last cruise was
Good.
super phenomenal. It really is. They work so hard and they're so good, so I'm
Yeah,
so glad that they took extra care of you.
they sure did. They sure
Alright, so
did.
what about these specialty dining? Which ones did you try? And give us the
Okay.
scoop.
We did we did Catch by Rudy. Okay, I was very excited by that. Obviously, I'm a big seafood eater. I will eat that every day. So it was so good. I can't even explain. I mean, it was just amazing. And I did even ask if the chef was there because he isn't occasionally there. Rudy is there on board a lot.
Oh,
And he was not. He was not. They were teasing me saying his brother's back there and he cooks better. So that was funny, and that wasn't true. I found that out. I'm like, "Really? Really?" And I'm like, "I need to find this out. Spill the tea." And then I found out later he made that up. But it was so delicious. It was really good. Someone who was sitting at our table, that evening for dining, she doesn't like seafood. They
mhm.
got her anything she wanted. I mean, it
Oh,
was
wow.
great. Yeah, they got her what she needed, what she wanted, and she was fine.
Oh,
Yeah, it
that's
was
great.
it was really good. So that's, a little tip, ask before you go in. And typically, because she didn't want it, her husband really wanted to go in there. So she didn't want to not do that.
Yep.
So that was fantastic. That's always a big one. Catch by Rudy. They're great.
Okay.
Yeah. So their seafood, I say that for all the princess. All their seafood is fantastic.
And so
So
you don't have to just love seafood to go. They will accommodate other
Oh my gosh,
requests.
anything. Because one of the other nights, they went to, the Crown Grill. Now,
Mhm.
we were originally scheduled to that, but the captain's party was that night, and my husband and I got invited, so we did go to that instead. And I was really bummed, not gonna lie, sorry, captain. I was really bummed that I canceled that dinner
Yeah.
because everyone that I was with that ended up going that night said that was the best meal that they had.
Oh, wow.
So next princess cruise I will eat at Crown Grill.
Okay.
We did substitute though.
Mm.
Since we canceled there, we ended up making the reservation for the sushi restaurant on board.
Nice.
OMG.
That
It
good.
it was that good. It was real sushi, not just California rolls. It was an 8-course meal. 8-course meal.
Wow.
I just kept saying, they keep bringing out more food, and the waiter was laughing. There was stuff I couldn't finish. It was so delicious, though. I mean, how much of sushi can they make, you know? But it was delicious. So if you're a
Eight
sushi
course
lover,
meals worth.
it oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That one was a little bit more expensive on the specialty meals, but
Uh-huh.
if you are a sushi eater, I will do it. It is so fancy when you go in there and sit, and it's kind of in the open, but yet it's almost where this ledge is kinda hanging over. It's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Even though you kinda are still out there where people are kinda walking through, near the promenade center part,
Mhm.
it doesn't really it did not bother me. I thought for sure, I'm like, "Oh, man, we're out in the open, I don't like this." But it wasn't like that at all. It was really great. They really
That's
knew how to
great.
do it. Yeah, it was nice.
That is
Mhm.
super special.
Yeah, so those were the 2 specialty meals we did, right?
All right,
Yeah,
so on our last podcast, there was one thing you were really talking about. Do you remember?
I don't.
200 libations you were going to try. You were
Oh.
challenging yourself to make sure that you tried 200 libations. How did that
Yeah,
go?
I didn't. It didn't. Um, first night, I think I had 3 martinis, and then I did not I was done. I was done. I was done. But everybody was trying out different drinks, so it was a good time. You know, it was fun to see which bartenders and which bars had different types of drinks. There was a different vibe to each bar, so it
All
was
right, so
really
tell
cool.
us the top favorite. Was there one that really stood out or maybe 2 or 3? I don't know. Did you have at least one favorite?
You know, it's on every single one of their ships. I'm gonna have to say it, it's the dirty banana.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right? You were
I had one of those.
and you don't drink.
I don't drink, but I did
Wasn't
have
it
one of those, and it was
delicious?
good. It was
Yes.
yeah, it was more like a
So
dessert. Yeah,
it is like a dessert. It is so yummy
yeah,
and just so delicious. So that one is a favorite, and then they made another one called Milky Way. So and I
okay.
don't usually drink those type of drinks, but when I'm on vacation, I'll do that every once in a while, and I'll say, I think that was still standing up as my favorite on the show.
Really? All those dessert ones are my favorite.
I know, right? They're
Yeah,
so good, and that's
uh-huh.
on every ship. That's on every one of their ships, they have that one.
I
I
love
mean, it's
that.
known. If you go on their pages, on Facebook pages and stuff, it'll be people will be talking about it.
Okay.
It's such a good drink. Yeah, you've had it.
Yeah, it
Sass
was
girl.
good. That's
Yeah,
so funny.
that was my favorite. I like
Okay.
champagne, so I'm not gonna knock the champagne. That was
Did you have some champagne while on
Of
board?
course I did. Of course I
Of
did.
course you did.
Of course I did. I like it. Come on.
And celebratory or just, "I'm on a cruise, we have it every night"?
No, I'm on a cruise and I have it every night.
What about breakfast? Did you wake up with a mimosa?
Okay, so we did do something different this time. I
Okay.
usually do not order room service or things like that. Okay. And we did do excursions. So, when you get up early with
Mhm,
excursions, I have always recommended it to all my clients. Order that breakfast the night before. So you have it in your cabin. You can
mhm.
have whatever and order it all, your coffee, your teas, whatever, and go ahead and drink and eat before you go. And you don't have to go and wrestle the crowd in the buffet. And we actually did. I listened to my travel agent this time, and I did it.
'Cause
And I
she's
gotta tell you,
phenomenal.
right?
Just want
She's the
everyone to know
best.
your travel agent is phenomenal.
She's the best. So, see what I did there? So we did that this time, and I will tell you, that was my favorite part.
Yeah,
And there's a number 2 favorite thing. It
okay.
goes right along with this, with the ordering of the breakfast. You're on deck, and Princess has the medallions, and you go in your
Mhm.
app, and you can order stuff from wherever you are. OMG. I will tell you, do you wanna know what I was ordering morning, noon, and night? I would order it at midnight when we
A
would get
dirty
back.
banana?
No, but that's a good idea, I should've.
What?
A peanut butter and jelly toasted sandwich on rye bread. Every night when we would get back to the room, I would be ordering it. I don't eat like that. Oh my gosh, I think that may have been my favorite.
I have to tell you, them delivering it to you is a
Yes.
game
Yes.
changer.
we would just be sitting there, me and
Mhm.
Lisa and I would just be sitting there going, "Oh my God, I want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich." Anywhere we were, and we would order it, and like 20 minutes later, here it is.
Mhm.
So that was great. Okay. Those were
Yep.
my favorite things that we ordered. That ordering on that medallion, chef's kiss. It is
I
the
agree.
best. Yeah,
I
it
agree.
is the
10 out
best.
of 10 stars.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely makes it a next step up on the cruise. I agree,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So I don't know. Do you say that peanut butter and jelly was my favorite on this cruise?
Mm,
Yeah.
was it?
It really
Yes!
They didn't have my caprese sandwiches that I eat on all the other cruise ships. So
Okay.
you may have seen it on your ship in the International Cafe. They have them on all the other ships. They have a different menu on Sun, and my caprese sandwiches weren't there. So the peanut butter and jelly turned into my favorite.
That's nice.
Isn't it
And
silly?
but, it was toasted, so that does make it a
Oh,
little.
and it was the
Mhm.
perfect rye bread. It was so good. It was so delicious.
Mhm.
That's something, isn't it?
Yep,
That is crazy.
yep.
Yeah, I love
We
that.
learned that
Love it.
on.
Next time you're gonna order a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, aren't you?
I'm gonna have to try it next time.
So good. I, like, got hooked on it. After we came home, every day I went and bought rye bread, and I had to have peanut butter and jelly. It wasn't the same because no one delivered it to me or made it for me. My husband didn't understand that I was sitting there like this going,
Yeah.
and
You
he's
can
not
put it in
showing
your
up with
phone, just text him,
yeah,
"Hey,
he's not showing up with my peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
not on a platter, with a napkin and a dirty banana, just
And a
handing it
dirty
to you."
banana. See what I'm saying? It's the
Mhm.
best. It is.
It I agree.
That was my favorite. And
Yeah.
that's silly, but it's
No.
vacation. That's what you do.
That's I think that's one thing that they really got, that Princess really makes you feel like on vacation, like, you can be
Yes.
anywhere, sitting anywhere, order a drink, order a food wherever you are, and there was one night they were running late with something, I ordered something, and I waited a while, and I thought, "You know what? I'm just really tired. I'm just gonna go," and I didn't have a way to cancel it, so I went to my room, and the great thing about the medallion, they tracked me down,
Did she
so
find you?
they brought it to my room.
They did. I
They
love it.
did.
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, this is top service here," like,
Yeah,
I
isn't that
loved it so
fun?
much.
I
Yep.
loved all that room service stuff. So that is something I will continue to recommend and now even go overboard recommending. I'll tell you, this was a tip from my mother from years ago. My mom and dad are huge cruisers, and she would say that all the time. Carla, why are you not ordering room service for the morning? Why are you hurrying up out there? She goes, order it in your room. That's what it's there
Mhm.
for. So,
Yep.
I took the orders from my 83-year-old mother.
Sometimes mama knows best.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was
That's
perfect.
good.
Yeah.
Alright, so my second favorite thing about cruising is the entertainment.
Yeah.
So, did you go to the shows? What and we wanna talk about karaoke too, so, like, let's just make sure we pencil that in, but tell us about the shows. Did you go to them? What did you think? How were they? How
I
about the
did it!
seating?
I did
You
it!
you
Do you
didn't
wanna know
go?
why? Do you
Why?
wanna know why?
To
Well
0. None of them?
I'll tell you. Unfortunately, Princess is lacking on the Sun Princess for entertainment. There really was
Oh,
no shows. There was none. They didn't do the acrobatic shows that they talked about. That wasn't there. But we did do a comedian a couple times, and
okay,
I liked that. So that he was great. And that's always fun to end your night like that. Feet up,
okay,
having a cocktail with the comedian. He was fantastic. We did see that. We really didn't miss the shows. We ended
okay.
the night in the piazza area with the live music and dancing. And
Oh,
that was just so much fun. And there's so much seating now around these areas with this new ship that everybody is just milling around. It is like and it's levels of it.
okay.
That was a really fun part. And every night we just all
So did
saw
you
each
do more
other there.
dancing or more people
Oh,
watching?
yeah, we did both. Both. Oh, yeah, we did both. We did a lot of dancing, though. There was a lot of dancing.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, that's kinda so we didn't miss the shows that weren't there. The entertainment in the piazza was fantastic.
Did you do any of the trivia or karaoke or any of that stuff?
We watched the karaoke a little, but not too
Oh, I
much.
love watching
I
karaoke.
know, right?
I love it
Right?
so much.
It's so much fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so, yeah, I mean, I will say this is, Princess's biggest ship. 4,300 people, I think, were on it. It
Wow.
didn't seem like it. I didn't see
Oh,
a
that's
crowd.
nice.
Yeah, I didn't feel it.
All right,
And
so
I don't
in
know
the
if it was the time of
evenings
year, so could have been.
in the evenings with that large of a capacity on the ship, did you get the sense that it was more of a party vibe in the
Yes.
adult spaces, or was it more of a laid back vibe?
No. No, when we were in the piazza, it was a party.
It
Oh,
was.
yeah. Oh, it was a party.
Okay.
It was a party. And then they had all the other bars that you can sit in that was very chill with actually doors that close that you can go sit in there and it's quiet. They do a mixology show in there at Good Spirits at that bar. In O'Malley's, that's the new that takes the place of Salty Dog
Okay.
as the, casual dining. It was very pub, very Irish pub, so they had Irish music playing in there. There's a lot of intimate places to go to, but yet you could go into the piazza and it be like a party,
Well, that's
and
nice.
it was a lot of fun, a lot of fun.
For the people who want it to be more of a quiet space, is there quiet space to get away as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, there was a few people, part of our 20-person group that I'm like, "Are they still even here?" We haven't seen them. I didn't s One of them, I didn't see her for 3 days. I'm like, "Where is she? Did
Good
she get
for
lost?"
her.
Oh, yeah, I mean, but that's how we all are. We just all
Yeah.
spread out. I think there was about 2 days that went by that I didn't see my sister. I was
Oh,
like, "Hey,
wow.
are you gonna be at dinner tonight?" And she's like, "Nope, not gonna be there tonight." I'm like, "Okay." That's just how you
Yeah.
do it when you're traveling. You have to, because
Yeah.
that's your vacation. You have to do
Yep.
what you wanna do. It was a great crowd to travel with, so it was perfect.
That's good. Now,
Yeah.
what about excursions? Did you all do the same excursions, or did you do different
No,
excursions?
no, we all did different excursions. I didn't do a lot. I only did a couple. We did do, and which was funny because we had a few couples that didn't want to do anything, but then the night before the excursions, Penny was texting me from her room, right, like 2 doors away, saying, "What's the excursion you're on?" She would lay in bed and look at the excursions on the events on her TV,
Mhm.
and she booked a couple of the excursions to go on with us the night before we were going. So it was cool that she got to get in on it because there was
That's
available
good.
space and they just brought her in and there she was. So it was really cool that the ones that she decided she did. It was really neat that she grabbed it last minute.
So you booked all your excursions through Princess Cruise Lines?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Now there are some, and a couple of people did stuff on their own. And we did a couple of days on our own. The Rock of Gibraltar, we did that on our own, which was fantastic. And I think we had a better time, to be honest, on our own than from what I was hearing from others. It was really, really fun. Yeah.
So
So
there's options whether you wanna book with the cruise line or not. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's excursions you can do offshore. There's all kinds of these excursion groups that we do that are offshore in very reputable companies that
Mhm.
I recommend all the time to people. If you don't like what you're seeing on Princess or on Royal or on any cruise line, we have a couple of names that we can book some additional excursions on that are really reputable, and they work really well with the cruise ships. So
That's right.
it's not a problem finding something to do.
Yep, and there's some of those that partner with the cruise line, so when you're booking them through
Oh,
the
yeah.
cruise line, you're booking the same exact one. There
Yep.
are some, differences when like, if you don't make a port and cancellation and all that stuff, so that is something
Yeah.
that you wanna talk with your travel advisor
Absolutely.
about,
Yeah.
but, sometimes it all does work out. Alright,
Right.
as far as excursions are
My
count
crown was pinching a little bit.
oh, readjust it?
I
Our princess looks
That's
fabulous
right.
with her
That's
crown.
right.
Alright, so as far as excursions go, is there anything you wish you had known before or any excursions that you thought that you could skip next time?
No, no. I will tell you this. We did the excursion of just going to see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So
Oh,
that was great. It was like 4 hours still. Um, I'll tell you that was a lot of fun. That was amazing. It's so hard to even describe all of this stuff, right? So, but these phones, I'm gonna flip through it right now. I'm gonna show you these phones right here, the iPhones. AI corrected my Leaning Tower of Pisa for most of my photos. I had to stick
no.
my face in front of it because every time I was doing it, it was going like this. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. People don't believe me until I flip through the line of photos that I have of it. You can actually see it standing up straight. Uh-huh.
That is
And
awesome.
I was getting so mad and I'm like pouting and stomping my feet around. And all of a sudden I start going, "Is anybody else having this problem?" And then they really start looking at their pictures and They didn't even realize it was happening. Stupid phones. It really is. It really is. Oh, here. Look, I'm just going to hold it up.
All right, so for the people who may not be watching us and listening, we'll
Look at the
post these.
straight.
We'll post these to our social media so that
Look at this one. Look at that. What is that? Look, I had to stick my face in there for it to get crooked.
Well,
Hello.
that's the picture you should print out and keep it.
Right? Isn't that ridiculous? I mean, you spent all this money going to see this, and I'm going, what just happened? I was literally going to throw my phone. I was so angry. So it was funny. That was a funny part. That was good. Yeah, it was
I'm
very
almost
good.
crying over here.
That was a great experience. You know, gosh, what else? Portofino was amazing. I have my scarf. That's my bucket list. Portofino was my bucket list. So it really was a dream come true. What you see in the photos that you say, oh my God, this is just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Stunning.
That's good. What all
Stunning.
were the ports? I don't know if we talked about those. So you started in Barcelona, and then what happened?
Barcelona. And
Okay.
then we went to Rock of Gibraltar. I chose not to do the excursion to the top of the rock because one, the excursion brings you up there, but it doesn't bring you down. So you have to look for transportation down because are you going to climb down? I'm not walking. I'm sorry, I'm not walking. No, that was something. So we did it on our own, which was great. So we did Rock of Gibraltar. Then we did Marseille. France.
Okay.
That was Notre Dame. We did last minute book that excursion just to go see that. That was worth every second. That was amazing. And it was another quick one, just to there and back. You know, I like to spend time on the ship. That's my vacation too. I love the ship. I really do. That's a big part for me. So that was great. After Marseille, it was Portofino. And then, what was the last one? There was one more, obviously. I don't remember.
Well, I guess they all kind of dull and sparkle after Portofino.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was just, and then we ended in Rome. We spent 3 days in Rome. I'll tell you, we're standing there getting ready to get off the ship. I'm starting to get a little tired and I know how I am. And I'm already starting to think about going home, even though it's like in 3 days. And I actually said, you know, if we were going home, I'd be okay. Until we pulled into Rome. I was crying when we left. I did not want to leave. It is the most perfect place, I think, in the whole world. Yeah. Yep. I loved it.
Wow.
Loved it, loved it, loved it. Yeah. Yep.
That is quite a statement.
Can't wait to go back.
What was it that won you over?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it was, you know, this year is the Jubilee. You know, that's Pope appointed. I thought it was going to be busier. And it wasn't. There was a lot of people, of course, but that's what I was already anticipating. I knew it was going to be crowded. But just seeing some things, the Spanish Steps, that was just fun. But I'll tell you, we walked it 4 times if I was doing it one more time, because you just walk you walk Rome. It's crazy.
I bet you got your steps in.
Oh, gosh. But the food, the food was so good. And the people are amazing. I have the best transportation company. They are amazing. I got to be friends with them. They took Jim and I, after we dropped everybody off at the hotels in Rome, they took Jim and I around the town. They showed us things. They took us to a very famous coffee cafe. They got us right in. They got us a table, and they treated Jim and I like royalty, showing us around. They are amazing. And they promised that when we come back, they invited us to their house to cook for us because they're right on the water. They're right on the ocean, right on the sea. And they told us they will have a flat for us to stay. I said, I'm taking you up on this. I mean, they're my friends now. They were so much fun. It was something. Maybe that was part of the excitement, you know, that they showed us around. They do private tours for people. I set them up a couple of times with some of my other people, and they're just nothing but great. So they really welcomed us. They did.
That is great. And he also told you he'd always take care of our clients we send that way. So that's another thing.
Absolutely. And they did, because I had clients that stayed behind after a bunch of us left, and they took them places. They were the ones that brought us then back to the airports. They're phenomenal, and a family-owned company, and they're just really, they give you that, when they say you get that, your family when you go, that's them. That's them. Yeah.
That always makes, when you're in a new destination, it always makes it extra special because you get to see it through a different lens.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. It was great. Yeah. They made me feel like I was with family, and I do have family there. So they did make me feel like I was with them.
So, making your way back to the ship,
Yep.
overall, how do you rate the service, the staff, and the cleanliness?
Top. It was great. It was so
All
clean.
across the board?
All across the board, yeah.
All right.
Service was great. I liked everybody I met, everybody that took care of us, went above and beyond for us. Um, yeah, service was great, cleanliness. It's a new ship. It was beautiful, just beautiful.
That's why I love the new ship.
Mhm. Me too.
What surprised you the most about this cruise?
I think what surprised me the most is be I didn't miss the shows, and
Mm,
that we did just wander around. I didn't miss it one bit. I didn't even think of it. So the entertainment was fantastic when you think there's no entertainment on board, when they aren't gonna show you these shows, or, there isn't all these fancy bells and whistles and all of that, and no slides and by the pools, and I didn't miss it one bit. They keep you busy.
I
Yeah.
feel like no matter what cruise you go on, even if you take a 7-day, there's so much usually on on most,
Yeah.
not all, but on most cruise ships, there's enough for you to
Yeah.
spend at least 2 weeks, if not more, to get
Oh,
everything in
there
that
was
you
stuff
really
I
want to
didn't
do.
see. Yeah, there was stuff I didn't see. There was a couple of the specialty show. They have it on that ship. Royal has where you get on the train. It's an experience. Did miss that we didn't do that. So next time I go, I will do their entertaining, specialty dining. I want to do that. Something
Okay.
totally different and off the wall. So
All
we'll
right.
see
Well,
what ship we get me on next.
overall, for this
Mhm.
one, would you say that it was worth the price?
100%. I will say that. Princess gives you bang for your buck. They really
That's
do.
good.
I believe they give you great offerings, very easy to navigate, 100% worth the price. Cruises really are.
Yeah,
I
I
think
I
they
agree with that.
Mhm.
All right, and would you recommend this cruise for a first-time sailor?
If they want Europe, yes. Princess for a first-time cruiser, I typically would not recommend as a
Okay,
first-time cruiser.
and why is
Um,
that?
I do think with Princess, because everyone sees what the other ships have, in your face, what they have to offer, um, they automatically think, well, Princess doesn't have it. So I don't
Mhm,
know what I could do on that ship. What am I going to do? So I think for first timers, they need to have things right out there. I think with Princess, it's the little hidden gems, the little hidden
mhm.
gems. And I don't think first timers want that. I don't think they wanna take that time to go explore every nook and cranny of the ship, and they might once they get comfortable, but it's easier for them to navigate when it really is all in your face. I liked the nook and crannies and the quietness sometimes that Princess offers. So, but for a first timer, it depends. I have different cruise lines for each whatever you're looking for,
Yeah,
the adults only, the party vibe,
mhm.
there's all different. So I have a favorite cruise line for every single calling. This itinerary, if that's your first cruise and you're going to Europe, that's fantastic.
All right, what is your one don't forget this item tip for someone cruising Princess, particularly this itinerary?
Well, you cannot forget your medallion. I mean, that for Princess, that's it. You can't forget that. This specific cruise, hearing from what my fellow travelers, said, a couple of them were really um, upset, not upset, but bummed that they didn't have the app for translation a little bit more.
Oh,
That they wanted for the port stops. I didn't think anything of it. I've seen the earbuds that translate as you're
hmm,
listening to it because it's an app. Man, I don't know. They give you everything. If you forget anything, there's no want. They have it all. Don't forget your camera. I've started recommending this for everyone, not just for a cruise like this, but for all travels. I not only started I take a lot of photos. I'm a big photo buff. I'm a photography buff. It's just how I am. But I started actually taping. So I have video clips of things. I like to take it all in when I travel. So I
mhm,
want to hear it. When I'm telling people about things, I'm like, but you don't get it. You didn't hear there was something there. It was just crazy, or the smells. So I've been videotaping, and I recommend that to all my people. Pull out your camera. Don't only take photos. Get the laughing of who's with you in the background. Get them saying silly things in the
mhm.
background. Be in the moment. And videotaping is in the moment when you can hear it. You can go back and hear it and see it. That's a really cool thing. I 100% say switch over a little bit, send online. That's all we see now are video
Yep.
clips. Take videos.
So much. And
There's
it's a hard
so much.
transition.
It is. It's
Like,
very
I
difficult because
recognize that it's a hard transition.
yes, I don't like to hear myself even.
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah.
wanna do it. But there are so many things that I videotaped. I made sure I made a conscious effort that now
Mhm.
I'm so happy I did it because I heard the things we were saying and it was fun and we were
Mhm.
laughing and I video, 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 video. Yep.
And that's what makes it the perfect bucket list item. You're checking it off and you don't wanna forget it. You wanna have
Absolutely.
those little nuggets of memories
Yes.
later.
Well, amen. Because 'cause isn't that
Yeah,
why you travel? It's
that
to
is.
make the memories. Gotta do it now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Carla, thank you so much for sharing today and going back down memory lane
Hey,
and talking about your cruise.
thank
I
you.
just wanna wrap it up by asking one last question
Mhm.
on our bucket list boarding pass rating on a scale
Yes.
of 5 stars. How many
Yep.
stars would you give this sailing?
Is 5 the best?
5 is the best.
This sailing? I'm gonna give it a 5.
Woo!
I am. I thought it was
5
great.
stars.
Any little thing that even happened, Princess took care of it. So
That's
that's what I
great.
mean. There's nothing that can happen that will be bad. When you go on vacation, it's vacation. That was a 5. The
That's
food
great.
was phenomenal. The people were great. The stops were just so wonderful. So wonderful. Absolutely. It was great. The ship is beautiful. I would do it again.
Yeah.
I would. Absolutely. I would do it again. Mhm. It was great.
Well, thank you for sharing today.
Thank
Can't wait to
you.
hear about your next cruise.
Thank you, Jenny. Yay. Can't wait for our next one.
Well, that is a wrap on this episode of Bucket List Boarding Pass. We hope we have sparked some wanderlust and helped you get one step closer to your next adventure.
If you had fun hanging out with us, be sure to follow, leave a review, and share this next episode with your travel crew.
Got a question, travel story, or destination you want us to cover? Send it our way. We love hearing from you.
If today's episode has inspired you to start planning your next trip, visit us at thebesttravelagency.com, and we would love to help you book your next getaway.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and remember, your next adventure is just a boarding pass away.